Alright, so I got the gimbal mounted. It's on there. I had to custom drill some holes in the mount plate because the screw holes didn't mount. They didn't match up on the Vision 2. They do on the Phantom 1, but not the Vision 2, or even the 2, I believe. So that was pretty basic. Used the OEM mount plate as a template. I only got 3 holes out of it, but that's plenty. So did that, got it mounted. The jello stabilizers were pretty simple. They're quite a bit more rigid and they seem more substantial than the stock Phantom Vision 2 ones that come on the Vision 2 camera that are like this. So if you basically squeeze them like this, these are pretty soft, whereas these ones here almost feel more like a rubber tire. They're pretty firm, so these ones are pretty soft. So that'll probably help a little bit as far as jello and stabilization, but there was no real jello issue. In fact, there is no jello issue with the Vision 2, so we'll just see if it enhances anything or not. But the power, there is no accessory power on the Vision 2. There's the NASA board. The accessory power is being used to run the stock gimbal, which is also only 5 volts. And the gimbal, Arris gimbal, requires 12. So the Vision 2 battery and one battery both are 11.1 volts. It's actually enough to power the camera, no problem, or the gimbal, no problem. So the trick is where to connect it. So there's, whoops, I'll zoom in there. There's ground right here, and then power on the other side. And the solder that they use, you can't attach anything to. You actually have to resolder it to get power direct to it. But if you pull the sleeve back a little bit on the positive and the negative wire here, it actually exposes the wire directly behind it, and you can tie off or even resolder there without having to try to ruin these solders that come stock on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll see if it powers up when I turn on the power on the Vision 2. It should power up the gimbal at the same time, so I'm going to end up permanently connecting these right here. These wires that I have running through here actually came with the gimbal. There's a set of 6, and they're, I believe, to hook up to the FPV, but in the NASA board. But because I'm going to be using the stock camera, the FPV will still be accessible through the Wi-Fi, as the connection for this is the video connection. That runs your power as well as your Wi-Fi. It says right there on the side of the camera, I don't know if you can actually read it, it says don't cover Wi-Fi antenna. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and connect the wires, run them through, and do a test start on it, and we'll film that, and then if it works, I'll go ahead and finalize the canopy and put it back together. Should be cherry. Pretty simple, all in all. It took me a little while to figure out how I was going to do it clean, but that's what I'm going to do. So here we go.